Hey, what's up? Our buddy in Florida, Kevin, is going to end. How's your week going, bud?
We're doing good here, Kurt. The weather passed us by, didn't really tear us up. That's for old people. You just got to look out the window and wonder when it's going to come.
Yeah. Yep.
But
what's on your mind today?
Kurt, what's that, sir?
What's on your mind this morning, bud?
The Rockefeller, Carnegie, and then Dodd-Frank. That was a nail for small business.
Yep.
You couldn't borrow on your cash flow.
Right.
You could only borrow on what you paid yourself. When you're an S corp, you don't do things like that. And the banks, the banks are really the problem. When you take a look at BCCI Bank, it was started in the 70s, by a Pakistani and everything. But by the 90s, they were being investigated for their drug activities. And so, when the foundations are paying for this and paying for that up front, or these companies are, paying for the divisions among Americans, at the same time, the banks are going to work because that Pakistani, 25% of his seed money in 1972 came from the Bank of America. Then he got 75% from, some sheik, and off they went, and they were money laundering. And, I think, I don't know if you've heard about HSBC Bank and everything, but they just took over for them. And, they get whacked with a fine that's like, that's their business for one day, the fine.
Right.
It's nothing. And so, you have people paying taxes, and the IRS hounded them, and they give millions and $500 million to Planned Parenthood like it's nothing. Then Planned Parenthood turns around and sells a liver for $500,000 or more, because the cells are worth this much. Who puts the price on that? And this is where America has gone wrong. Nobody's looking at the big pictures. The banks are making money hand over fist because the drugs are out there. Then they have you in debt and running along. You got to pay it, but don't forget to pay your taxes, because they got to throw that money out the window someplace else. Americans have to wake up, Kurt.
Well, and doesn't the whole process start the day you leave college with student debt? You're basically spending the rest of your life working off debt. You're in a sense, you're under the control of the governing bodies because you have taxes to pay every year, and that debt's not going to go away. It was $8,500 for a semester at an Ivy League school. Right. But Kevin,
look at it.
You came from a generation of people who busted their ass to get through college or serve their country and get rid of that debt, and because you did that. There was a lot more value in your mind around the things that you had and the things that you had earned. And I would argue that's one of the biggest lessons that's not being put on this generation today is the accountability. Kevin, I'm blown away by the fact that almost every other commercial I hear on the radio or I see on television is a commercial for a company that will help you get out of debt by not paying the money you owe.
But I don't think that's really a truthful advertising.
No,
I wouldn't know because I've never applied to them.
Right.
But Kurt, there are sharks, and so when you get in with them, automatically they're going to trade your information to the bank and say, "Here's one that's in difficulty."
Right, but I'm trying to, Kevin. I think the bigger message is, I think it almost feels like kind of a subliminal brainwashing kind of thing, which is, listen. You don't have to pay back all the money you owe. We'll help you not pay. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you teach your kids,
who want to turn our country over to China,
right? But if you think about what you did with your kids, and you say, "Listen, I'm going to teach you about responsibility." Well, you're going to borrow this $20 from me. You're going to pay me back, and you're going to pay me back through doing work or doing chores or doing
everything I ever gave to the children. Was gone.
Right, but I'm saying we're watching a generation raised on. They actually believe, Kevin, that they're entitled to free college. They really, honestly, truly believe that they should get free education after high school. How could they get there?
One of my granddaughters looks at me, and I'm supposed to fix her teeth, and her mother's there, and I've been supporting her mother for all those years.
Yeah.
I mean,
but how did they get to that point, Kevin? It's my question.
If you take a look at what they see on TV and how they're taught in school, because they're
these days, though, Kevin, they're being raised by the school. Parents are letting the schools raise them because that's the only way they can come out.
Well, you can't call that raising. They're being led down the primrose
You're right. Yes,
path.
you're right. That's my mistake, because when you watch guys like Jesse Waters or Steven Crowder go into a college campus at Columbia or Penn and ask, who fought in the Civil War, and somebody says, well, the British in the North. Who won the Revolutionary War? The French? I mean, these people, those are things that I knew, and I'm not an ultra smart guy. I knew those. I was taught those things in 5th and 6th grade.
It's Cinco de Mayo. The Mexicans don't know what Cinco de Mayo is, and they made us Mexicans.
Right. Yeah. I'm with you, buddy. I'm with you. Hey, listen, God bless you, man. You have a wonderful weekend, and I'll talk to you on Monday, pal.
You guys have the best show, I'm telling you, and your crew, they're tops, bud.
I appreciate it, buddy. You take care of yourself. Have a great weekend. That's our boy Kevin from Florida. Barefootcavalry.com is his website. 877-240-1776.